Small bedrooms get a bad rap for being difficult to live in, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. All you need is a few different organization ideas, and your small room will seem a lot bigger in no time. Welcome to Jensen's DIY. In this video, we're giving you a roundup of 20 small bedroom organization ideas. 1. A lot of small rooms tend to have only enough space to fit a bed, leaving no room for a nightstand. Having to function without a nightstand is not ideal and is one of the biggest reasons why people end up with a whole bunch of clutter on or around their bed. This can be remedied by installing a floating bedside ledge on the wall right next to your bed. These are usually big enough to hold your phone, a few small trinkets like earrings or a glass of water, so you have all your essentials right next to you at all times. 2. If you're someone that requires more storage and won't be satisfied with a small ledge, there are still options for you. Getting a storage headboard is a perfect way to gain storage space, similar to a traditional pair of nightstands, while also providing a shelf for you to put your things on. It's an ideal place to keep your phone in the middle of the night, so you won't have to figure out where it is when it goes off, as it's right above your head. 3. When you're confined to a small space, shoes can be the enemy. Getting a rotating shoe rack can be the perfect solution. They can't be folded up and are typically needed daily, so you can't even store them away. These can hold a lot of shoes in a vertical space. Plus, they rotate, enabling you to easily spot and pick out the shoes you want without having to make a mess of the whole room. 4. Corners are ready-to-go areas of your room, just asking to be put to good use. Installing a clothing rod and rack that fit right into the corner will give you clothing storage equivalent to a closet, while also not taking up that much space visually. Plus, you can arrange all your clothes in a color-coordinated way and add to the overall aesthetic of the room. It's a 2-in-1. 5. When your bedroom is on the smaller side, it often becomes a black hole that sucks up your jewelry and scatters it all over the room. Having jewelry lying around everywhere makes the space look even smaller than it really is. An easy way to remedy this problem is to get jewelry organizers, whether that's a sectioned, a tray, or a stand. These will give each piece of jewelry a home and will hold a lot more in a far more compact way than just having jewelry all over the place. 6. Radiators are essential for pretty much 6 months of every single year. The annoying part is figuring out what to do with them for the 6 months when you're not using them. Installing a radiator cover like this one that also has a shelf and can act as a little mantle can give you a lot of extra space to organize your things without hindering the functionality of the radiator. 7. This is a classic. Beds take up the most amount of space in a room. A great way to make sure you're not wasting all this precious space just for sleeping is to either switch out your bed to one that has drawers underneath or simply get storage containers that fit under your bed easily. You can organize your bulky clothes, shoes, and other belongings, keep them under the bed, and just take them out when you need them. This way, you'll keep them organized and hidden away most of the time. Check out the step-by-step guide on Olive and Love. 8. A small trash bin is essential in any room where you want to keep things clean. If you don't have one, you're going to have pieces of wrappers and papers all over the room that you always say you'll throw away later, but that never really ends up happening. Getting a tilting cabinet that stores your trash bin out of sight is the best alternative. Not only does this save space that the trash bin would otherwise occupy, but it also gives you a little nightstand type of shelf to put some extra things on. 9. If there's one thing that small bedrooms don't have room for, it's a desk, but that doesn't mean you can't have one. A fold-down desk can be installed into a wall, and whenever you need to use it, it folds out and turns into a full-sized table. When you're done, it can be put away and free up the space again. 10. A lot of small bedrooms don't have a proper closet. If that's the case for you, you can pick a wall and turn it into an open-wall closet. All you need to do is attach shelving units to the wall. You can even go all the way to the ceiling and get a rolling ladder to access the very top. Store all of your clothes and other items in this closet, and you've just doubled the space in your room. 11. When you've got drawers, it's easier just to throw clothes in there and forget about organizing them. But all this does is create an even bigger mess, even though it's out of sight. Clothes take up significantly more space this way. Using clothes separators is a great way to not only organize your clothes, but also fit a lot more of them in the same drawer. 12. If you own a lot of scarves or pants, you're probably already familiar with just how hard they are to organize efficiently. S-hangers are made to fix that problem. You can easily stack multiple scarves and pairs of pants on top of each other, and they'll take up just a fraction of the space and be perfectly organized at the same time. You'll be able to see everything displayed neatly, and it won't feel like clutter. 13. Over-the-door storage racks work great in all rooms, but they're especially great if you don't always keep your bedroom door closed. These racks hang over the top of your door and add a whole shelf to it. They can be used to store anything from purses to shoes or anything else you want to keep hidden most of the time. 14. If your room has a high ceiling, you can literally double the space by switching out your bed for a Loft Style Bed. With one of these, you can either have a whole closet under your bed, or you can install a desk set and have your workstation right under your bed. Everything will stay separate and organized because your bed and work area are on totally separate floors. 15. In small rooms, closet space is super scarce. The key here is to figure out ways to expand your clothing organization beyond the actual closet. An easy way to do that is to install a couple of wall brackets on your walls. These can act like very small rods that hold a few hangers, and you can easily organize your clothes for tomorrow using these so that when you're in a hurry to get ready for work in the morning, you don't end up ruining your entire closet to find your outfit. Plus, it's just a great place to store extra clothes that don't fit in your closet. 16. Regular bookshelves are one of the most popular things to add to a room when you're trying to up your organization. However, what they're also good at is taking up way too much space. In small rooms, you can sometimes fit either a bed or a bookshelf, but not both. To remedy this and still have the storage space a bookshelf would provide, you can opt for a few floating shelves stacked on top of each other. Since these don't go all the way to the floor, you can still have a cabinet or your bed underneath and have storage space for days. 17. Having at least a few bed sheets is necessary, but in a small room, they end up being almost impossible to organize and store without them taking over the entire room. One of the best ways to deal with that problem is to store them underneath your mattress. Not only does that work great for keeping the sheets organized and out of sight, the mattress even works as a makeshift iron, and you'll end up with nicely pressed sheets every time you take one out. 18. Mirrors are essential in almost every room, but in a small room where the presence of everything that takes up space has to be justified, you need a mirror to serve multiple purposes. A full-length mirror with a storage compartment is great for storing your makeup and jewelry exactly where you'll be using it. What would otherwise be a chaotic mess can be easily organized and hidden from sight, but still kept in an accessible place for whenever you need it. 19. People who own a lot of books and don't want to hide them away end up in a predicament about how to organize them in a small space without having them take over the entire room. Invisible bookshelves are amazing for organizing books because you don't see the shelf and the books look like they're floating in the air. Not only is this visually appealing, but it also takes up far less space than any other type of bookshelf would. 20. No matter what you're trying to organize and how small your space really is, chances are that a good old hook will take care of it. Hooks come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. They can be installed anywhere, and you can hang your things on them to organize them vertically and get them off the floor. If your room is small, adding hooks everywhere you can think of should be one of the first things you do. That's a wrap for 20 small bedroom organization tips. Which one of these did you find the most helpful? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one!